Thanks.
Thank you.
Good film. When did you first see it? Did you watch it together or did you watch it alone? I know sometimes people sort of...
First time, no, you can't. The first time you often see these things, see the film is in a little screener room and you're by yourself or with a couple of other people. So yesterday was the second time I'd seen it with an audience. The first time we'd seen it together.
The first time we'd seen it together.
So that's what's most important.
Which was,
But what's it like? I mean, it's an epic story and you're a huge part of it, but it must be still a moment when you first see that film. You see it for the first time yourselves.
Yeah, it's always quite exciting. You spend so long staring at a script, then you spend so long stood on a film set doing it bit by bit. So it's always very exciting to see it all.
And then you
together.
forget about it.
Yes, and then you do forget about it. Then maybe you forget you've even done it.
Yeah, I almost didn't turn up. Yeah, it's interesting seeing it, and also interesting seeing the other parts. You've obviously read and have an idea of all these other people, and then seeing how it's come together and how Josie's put it together. It's great, and it's just great seeing it with a live audience.
It is great too. Tell us, explain who you play and how they fit into the story, because I mean, a lot of people won't know about your characters, will they?
No, I didn't know about mine.
Right.
I genuinely didn't. I knew a lot about Mary, but I had no idea about the guy I played. But he was fascinating.
Who is he?
The character of Lord Darnley,
Yeah.
who goes on to become Mary's husband and king consort of Scotland.
Yeah.
And thinks he's going to become king of Scotland, and doesn't quite work out like that, and quite quickly becomes an absolute pain in the backside for Mary and everyone involved in the Scottish court. And he was, and everything I read about him, I think he just wanted to slap him and just say, shut up, like nobody cares. And I mean, I read at one point he went to Rome and petitioned the Pope to sort of say, she's not making me king, will you make me king, please?
He did a lot in the few years he was around.
He really did, he got about.
And your guy Dudley?
Yeah, I play... I play Robert Dudley,
Yeah.
who was the kind of lover and favourite of Queen Elizabeth, and he's a bit different to the other male characters or the way they're portrayed in the film. He doesn't act with such an agenda of politics and power and self-gain. He's kind of driven by love and loyalty for her, at least in this drawing of him. And so he's even willing to sacrifice kind of himself for her, being sent up to marry Mary at one point. But he's more a figure of kind of true romantic love. Yeah.
You're working with Saoirse and Margot. What was that like? I mean, there they are as Mary and Elizabeth. They're fantastic in this, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's always the same when you get to work with brilliant actors. It's you spend half your time acting with them, another half admiring them and admiring how they work. And we've both been very fortunate to work with loads of brilliant actors, and Margot and Saoirse are two of the very best. Yeah.
Josie, first time as a film director, well, she's very experienced as a director, as you know. What was that like for her? Big film to start with, right?
Yeah. It's so. I was saying this before. I'm repeating myself, but it's so impressive. Whenever I'm on a film set, just the amount of people involved, and it never fails to amaze me. The person who has to kind of take the helm, the amount of responsibility and the amount of people to kind of bring together is huge, and especially on a film like this, which is pretty is pretty huge with its size and its scale. The idea that she came onto that for the first time. I think she did an amazing job.
Completely. We always sort of talk about this when we're watching historical stories about contemporary relevance. But did you talk about that when you first gathered together? I mean, it has got, there are some striking themes, gender politics, fake news, misogyny. Did you guys talk about that when you first got together as a group?
No, not really at all. I mean, what we talked about was the Scottish and English courts and how we'd move, how we'd interact, and what we'd stay away from, and things like that. And that's the themes of things, the sort of big political themes. I think that's for you to decide, and that's for everybody else to decide. And
right.
I think for us to sort of I think it's always a mistake when a film or a play comes out and says what a tagline of this is what we want you to get from the film. I think it's sort of arrogant, and that's not our job at all. Our job is to learn to ride horses, stand on very uneven ground, and yeah, that's our job. That's not our job at all. I think that's Josie's job.
Yeah,
certainly.
Sounds like a lot of fun, that job, though.
It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
Cool. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, man.
Pleasure. Thanks, guys.
隣り合う国に君臨する2人の女王メアリーとエリザベス。国をかけた陰謀が2人を襲う。
There is news. Your cousin Mary has returned to rule in Scotland. She is formidable.
My dear cousin Elizabeth, I hope we might meet in person, that I might embrace you. But ruling side by side, we must do so in harmony, not through a treaty drafted by men lesser than ourselves.
My dear cousin, let our nations cherish each other as we would, two kingdoms united. You would have me depose the sister monarch.
It is either civil war there or civil war here.
All I have done is try to unify this land. Do not play into their hands.
You would do well to watch your work. Your beauty, your bravery. Now I see there is no cause for envy.
But they're trying to usurp my crown. But I will be the woman she is not.
同じ立場で理解し合える唯一の存在。それでも運命が2人を翻弄する。
Should you murder me, and you murder your queen?
2人の女王メアリーとエリザベス